Ash had made precisely 3 mistakes in her military career. The first was volunteering for the Interspecies Integration Program. The second was accepting assignment to the Vraxian Shock Trooper Battalion. The third was leaving her personal hygiene kit unattended in the barracks common area. She discovered the consequences of mistake number 3 when she returned from the shower bay to find her hairbrush, the good one, the boar bristle her mother had sent from Earth, clutched in the clawed hand of Private Kreth, a Vraxian who stood 7 feet tall and resembled what would happen if a tiger achieved sentience and decided to invest heavily in muscle mass. "Kreth, that's mine," Ash said carefully, using the calm voice reserved for diffusing explosive situations. The Vraxian's amber eyes were wide with something approaching religious ecstasy. His facial fur, normally a chaotic spray of orange and black stripes, had been brushed until it lay smooth and gleaming. He looked magnificent. He also looked completely unhinged. "Human Ash," Kreth rumbled, his voice carrying that subsonic frequency that made her sternum vibrate. "What manner of battle preparation tool is this?" Before Ash could answer, Sergeant Thex, Kreth's squad leader and a Vraxian so scarred his stripes had become a roadmap of military history, materialized beside them. His massive head swiveled to observe Kreth's transformed appearance. "Explain," Thex demanded. Thus began what Elliot, her fellow human advisor and the only other member of their species on forward operating base Sentinel, would later call the grooming incident. By evening mess, half the Vraxian battalion had discovered the hairbrush. Ash watched in mounting horror as predator after predator, warriors who had faced down the Krell swarm, who had held the line at Proxima Station, who feared nothing in the known galaxy, queued up like schoolchildren waiting for a carnival ride. "This is your fault," Elliot muttered, sliding his tray next to hers. His dark eyes gleamed with barely suppressed laughter. "You've introduced grooming standards to apex predators." "I didn't introduce anything," Ash hissed. "They stole my hairbrush. And now they look fabulous." He wasn't wrong. The Vraxian warriors, normally rough and battle-worn, had transformed. Their facial fur lay in neat, gleaming patterns. Several had attempted styling. One had managed something approximating a mohawk with his crest fur. Another had created parallel grooves that made his stripes appear even more prominent. Commander Vexroth, the battalion CO, approached their table. The massive Vraxian moved with the controlled power of an avalanche, his crimson command cape swirling behind him. His facial fur, silver shot through with black, had been meticulously brushed. "Human Ash," Vexroth said, his tone formal. "We require instruction." Ash blinked. "Sir?" "This tool, this weapon of presentation." He gestured at the hairbrush, which had achieved near-mythical status and now rested on an equipment case like a religious artifact. "You will teach us its proper employment." "It's just a hairbrush, Commander." Vexroth's ears flattened, the Vraxian equivalent of profound offense. "Nothing that produces such results is just anything. Before tomorrow's inspection by the Galactic Fleet Admiral, you will conduct training." He stalked away before Ash could protest. Elliot was shaking with silent laughter. "Welcome to your new assignment, Chief Grooming Officer." The next morning, Ash found herself standing before 60 Vraxian shock troopers, her hairbrush held aloft like a sacred talisman. "Okay," she began, feeling surreal. "The basic principle is to brush in the direction of fur growth using smooth, even strokes." Elliot, pressed into service as her assistant, distributed the 5 additional brushes they'd requisitioned from the quartermaster, who had asked no questions but whose expression suggested he'd seen everything now. What followed was chaos of the most organized variety. Vraxian warriors, beings who could calculate firing solutions and orbital trajectories with ease, struggled with the coordination required for self-grooming. They brushed too hard, too fast, against the grain. One managed to get a brush tangled so thoroughly in his neck ruff that Ash required 15 minutes and considerable patience to extract it. But slowly, methodically, they learned. By noon, the entire battalion gleamed. Their fur lay in perfect patterns, highlighting their natural markings. The effect was striking. They looked even more formidable, their predatory nature enhanced rather than diminished by grooming. Admiral Korth arrived for inspection at 1400 hours. The Zentari officer, a crystalline being who communicated through light pulses, stopped mid-stride upon seeing the assembled battalion. The light display that followed was so rapid and bright that the translator struggled to keep pace. Unprecedented, magnificent. Combat effectiveness increased through psychological impact. Morale indicators exceptional. How? Commander Vexroth stepped forward, his groomed magnificence on full display. Human integration, Admiral. We have learned new battle preparation techniques. Admiral Korth's facets rotated toward Ash and Elliot. Humans introduced this? Technically, Elliot said, grinning. They stole the technology. The inspection report became legendary. Within a week, 3 other Varaxian battalions had requested human grooming advisors. Within a month, the Galactic Fleet issued new guidelines for human-style presentation standards as optional but encouraged practice. The Krell swarm, when they encountered the newly groomed Vraxian forces at the Battle of Hadrian's Gap, reportedly hesitated for the first time in recorded history. That 3-second pause cost them the engagement. Back on Forward Operating Base Sentinel, Ash finally recovered her original hairbrush, now a certified piece of military heritage, complete with documentation and a small display case. You know, Elliot said, watching Sergeant Thex meticulously groom his squad before evening patrol, humanity's greatest contribution to galactic warfare might not be tactics or technology. Don't say it, Ash warned. It's hair care. She threw her boot at him, but she was smiling. In a galaxy of wonders and terrors, sometimes the smallest human comforts became the most powerful weapons. And if a simple hairbrush could transform the most fearsome predators in known space into even more formidable warriors, well, that was very human indeed. The Vraxian shock troopers had their battle mains now, and the galaxy would learn to fear them even more.